Favoritism towards children. Have you shown favoritism towards one child over another? Or did your parents show favoritism of one of your siblings over you? You know, that's not a very good idea to show favoritism. I'll prove it to you. Let's go to Genesis chapter 37. Jacob, he loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So he thought that was a good reason, I guess. So what does he do? He's got 10 older kids, 10 older sons. Joseph's 17, 18 years old by now. He has a special coat, the coat of many colors made for Joseph. Not for any of his other sons, only for Joseph. Well, one night Joseph has a dream. And of course he tells his brothers, because what little brother isn't going to tell his big brothers, I had a dream, you're going to bow down to me. And they're like, so you think you're going to be our king, do you? Do you actually think you will reign over us? And they hated him all the more because of his dreams and the way he talked about them. But I want you to see something here. They hated him all the more. They already hated him. Why? Because his father showed him favoritism. Because his father treated him differently than he treated his other children. So then Joseph has another dream. And this time he tells it not just to his brothers, but he tells it to his father. And his father's like, he shouldn't be doing that. But while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father wondered what the dreams meant. So apparently some dreams can have meaning. Well, time passes. And the boys, the older boys, are out keeping the sheep at a certain location. Jacob sends Joseph out to check on them. So a favored son isn't made to go out and keep the sheep, right? He's kept home with daddy. So Joseph goes to look for the brothers. The brothers see him coming because how could they not see him? He's wearing this coat of many colors. So they know it's him coming and they're like, let's kill him. But Reuben says, no, we probably shouldn't kill him. Let's just put him in a cistern and leave him there. Now Reuben, the oldest, he thought, I'll come back later and I'll get him and I'll take him back to dad. Reuben at least had a little bit of sense. So apparently Reuben was off somewhere and the brothers are sitting down to eat and they see these Midianite traders coming. They were actually Ishmael's descendants. And they say, rather than killing Joseph, let's sell him to these traders. That way we will not have blood on our hands. Okay, so they took his coat, sold him to the traders, killed a goat, got blood all over the coat, brought it back to Dad. Look, Dad, something happened. We found this in the field. Isn't this your son's coat? Not our brother's, your son. And so Jacob jumps to the conclusion that a wild animal has killed his son Joseph. And he is sad. For a long time, he's grieving. His family all tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. I will go down to my grave mourning for my son, he would say, and then he would weep. This is all the result of favoritism and showing favoritism to one child over another. You may have a favorite child, but you must never let your children know which one is your favorite. Why? Because when there is a favorite child, the other children are going to be jealous. I had 3 children. Every child believed they were my favorite. Why? I had a daughter. I always said she was my favorite firstborn daughter. I had a son. I always said my favorite son. And I had another daughter. And I always said she was my favorite baby girl or favorite baby daughter. And every one of them would come to me and say, I know I'm your favorite. And I would always say, yes, you're my favorite, whatever their rank was in the family. Every one of my children is my favorite. And I will never, ever say anything else. And then grandchildren came along. I have a favorite granddaughter. She's also my only granddaughter, and she knows it, but I'll still tell her she's my favorite granddaughter. I have a great-grandson. He's my favorite great-grandson. He's also my only great-grandson. But I have 4 grandsons. It got a little tricky then. But I come up with something because everyone is my favorite. Don't ever tell your children or let your children know that they are not your favorite, because you know you love every one of your children. Maybe you love them differently. Maybe you love one for this trait and another for this trait, but you love all of your children. No matter what they do. There were a lot of times, you hear Toofy? There were a lot of times when I'd look at my son and I'd say, I love you, but I sure don't like you right now. And we'd both laugh because of his behavior. And he knew it. But he knew that I loved him. He knows I still love him. I do. I love all my kids and all my grandkids. They're all wonderful. They're all exceedingly good looking and smart. They kick after their grandmother or their mother. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Favoritism. Now, God doesn't play favorites. And if God doesn't play favorites, why should we? Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.